You know what's strange? A grown adult, someone with bills to pay and a job to show up to, is sitting in front of a TV at 2 a.m., screaming at 11 strangers they've never met, in a country they've never visited, playing a game they can't control. The world calls this passion. The world calls this love of sport. But neuroscience says something very different. Your brain isn't reacting to a game. It's reacting to something ancient, something coded into your survival wiring long before football existed. Psychologists call this tribal neurological activation, and the FIFA World Cup triggers it at a scale no other event on Earth can match. Research in social neuroscience suggests your brain genuinely cannot tell the difference between your team and your family. And if you recognize yourself in what follows, pay attention. 1. Oxytocin and tribal survival instinct. Psychologists call this tribal bonding your brain's oldest and most powerful social program running in full override mode. Your brain evolved over thousands of years in small tribes where belonging meant survival. The oxytocin system, the same neurochemical that bonds you to your mother, your children, your closest friends, gets hijacked the moment you put on that jersey. Research in social neuroscience shows that group rituals, shared symbols, and collective threat activate the same bonding pathways as intimate personal relationships. This isn't metaphor. This is measurable chemistry. You don't just support Argentina or Brazil. Your nervous system has genuinely recruited those players into your inner circle. When they win, your body reads it as your tribe surviving. When they lose, your amygdala, your brain's threat detector, processes it like a real loss. You feel it in your chest because your brain meant for you to feel it there. You've been doing this your whole life without knowing why. What others call obsession is actually your brain doing exactly what it was built to do: protect and celebrate the people it has claimed as its own. 2. Dopamine and intermittent reinforcement. Psychologists call this intermittent reinforcement the most addictive reward schedule the human brain has ever encountered. A 0-0 game in the 89th minute shouldn't be gripping, but it is. Neuroscience explains exactly why. Your prefrontal cortex runs a constant prediction engine. It's always calculating what comes next. In a World Cup match, that prediction engine never gets to rest. Every pass, every near miss, every corner kick resets the anticipation loop. Studies using fMRI imaging show that uncertainty, not the reward itself, is what floods your brain with dopamine. The slot machine doesn't pay every time. That's why you can't walk away. Your body is
living inside that uncertainty. Your palms sweat, your heart rate climbs, your breathing gets shallow. And you didn't choose any of it. Your dopamine system chose it for you the moment the referee blew the opening whistle. What others call getting too worked up over a game is actually your brain running one of its most sophisticated reward cycles, one that was designed to keep you engaged, alert, and fully alive. 3. BIRGing, basking in reflected glory. Psychologists call this BIRGing, basking in reflected glory, and it's one of the most revealing things your brain quietly does without your permission. Social comparison theory tells us that humans constantly measure their own worth against the groups they belong to. When your national team wins, your brain doesn't record it as they won. Your self-concept, the deep internal story of who you are, absorbs that victory as your own. Research by Robert Cialdini first documented this pattern. People consistently say, "We won," and "they lost," shifting pronouns based on outcome. Your brain is protecting your self-esteem by merging your identity with the team's performance. You've probably felt this. The day after a big win, you walk differently. You speak with a quiet pride that has nothing to do with anything you personally did. Your country did something, and some part of you at a neurological level did it too. What others might call living through others is actually your brain's elegant mechanism for expanding your sense of self, reaching beyond your individual life into something larger and more meaningful. 4. National identity psychology. Psychologists call this national identity activation, and the FIFA World Cup is the only sporting event on Earth that triggers it at full intensity. Most sports loyalty is regional, a city, a club, a local team. But your country is different. Research in developmental psychology shows that national identity forms in early childhood, woven into your language, your food, your family stories, your earliest memories of belonging. The World Cup doesn't just ask who your team is, it asks who you are. Every flag on screen is a mirror. Your nervous system responds to your nation's anthem differently than to any other sound, because that anthem was encoded into your identity before you were old enough to choose it. When your country plays, you're not watching a match. You're watching a question get answered in real time. Are we worthy? Are we seen? Do we matter on the world's biggest stage? What others experience as just national pride runs far deeper than sentiment. It's your brain resolving questions about identity and belonging that started forming before you could walk. If this is you, if your heart has raced for a team, if you've cried in a stadium or alone in your living room, if the end of a World Cup leaves you with a quiet sadness you can't explain, understand that this is not weakness. This is not irrationality. Your brain was doing something ancient, something deeply human. You were bonding, belonging, feeling alive inside a story bigger than yourself. That's not something to explain away. That's something to own. If you love understanding why your brain does what it does without being told it's just emotions, subscribe. Because on this channel, we don't just watch human behavior. We decode exactly what's happening beneath it.